bit of gasoline. Welcome to another brunch sip. Get a little bit of gasoline. Welcome to another brunch sip. Get a little bit of gasoline. Welcome to another brunch sip. Get a little bit of gasoline.
Because it is a mess.
It
and
is,
who am I to tell
exactly.
someone who to vote for, who not to vote for?
Right.
I go back and forth sometimes because when I see motherfuckers going too ham on one side, and I know deep down they really trolling, that shit is annoying and it gets crazy, especially when you back them down and you start talking like real politics. See, some people could talk a good game and do some stuff, but when you take them into deep waters and you start talking about stuff, and they can't back it up, or they start running away and they get angry or shit goes sideways, those are the motherfuckers I'll be after. So I'm not
usually that happens all the time in politics, though.
People
you talk
really don't
politics
know,
religion.
People don't know.
I don't think they're trolling. I don't think people are trolling. I think they legitimately don't know.
Well, a lot more majority don't know. I agree. Majority don't know.
Yeah. I know that I think about myself, right? There's tons of shit that I legit don't know. You know what I'm saying? But people will come at me like they know, and I'm going, wait a minute, I've been reading all morning and I still don't know. So I know you don't know. You know what I mean? Right. People legitimately don't know.
Absolutely. And I'm by all means, I am no political genius.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to talk about something, best believe I've done more research than you. There's a 90% chance that if I'm choosing to engage with most people, I've probably read up enough to jump in. I'm not going to go in the waters with someone back and forth on something if I'm completely.
Or you at least thought about it.
I'm not going to I don't want to look stupid unless it's just something, random. Okay. But when it comes to this stuff here, like, yeah, I know enough. And that's why, I don't know, man. It's just, it's funny. It honestly is all entertainment, some of this shit, man, to be honest.
Well, Vic, you can actually speak for yourself because I'm a political genius. I'm a genius, period. So I know what the fuck I'm talking about in chats. I'm always right. So with that being said, it's Friday, everybody. What's going on with y'all? Look like we on vacation, little two of us. Big, what you got going on over there? Eric, how's it going in Vegas?
You already know, man.
Eagles Cup going on.
The pen line.
We in Maryland, baby.
Oh, you always got the exotic. You always got the exotic beers going. That shit look nice.
This is the local joint. You don't get this in many other states.
Guinness? Yeah.
It's the Baltimore Blonde, baby.
Damn, he got the Baltimore beer.
I don't think I've ever had a Guinness, period.
Gangsta ass beer drinking over here.
Probably tastes like fentanyl or some shit.
Tastes like razor blades and alley trashes or something shit, man.
Some Baltimore bullshit, you saying?
Tastes like
what you got going on over there?
Chilling with the grandbabies, that's all.
That's just a beauty. Check you out. That's what I'm saying. You and Eric is some good people. Y'all are really some great people. You see how I let Vic out of there? I just let you and Eric is some good people. Y'all getting to heaven for sure.
I love it. It's been a long week. Hey, we all need a break, actually.
Shout out to y'all two playing on the road. Respect.
Hey,
still making it happen.
Yeah, my girlfriend came out here, so got to spend some quality time with her. So
that's always nice. Us ladies love that.
So let me get some points and shout out my girlfriend then. Hey, baby.
Hey, boo.
Yeah,
I got 10 points. I got 10, 13 points right there.
Absolutely. We love to be recognized. It shows us that you're thinking about us. It shows us that you're thinking about us. But anyway.
Yeah.
But what?
I'm about to say, don't fuck around and post a picture. Man.
Oh, yeah, we love it.
Talking about points.
Because you're claiming us. That's why we love it.
Exactly. Like, he ain't hiding. He must be in love.
He must be in love. So anyway, we're chilling though because we had a crazy week. It's a lot of politics, y'all. It's stressing everybody out.
Everybody arguing and fighting and shit.
Listen, Kamala Harris said social media in a tizzy. Like literally in a tizzy.
I'm guilty.
Really?
As we knew.
As usual.
She would.
So what do y'all think about his pick?
Horrible.
I don't see how it improves his chances of winning the office. Not saying that she isn't capable, but of the candidates that he had to choose from, I thought that he would choose someone a tad bit more conservative, a little bit more of a stronger voice, I think, and more stern, and the ability to work with people across the aisle. So that's why I kind of thought that he would pick Karen Bass. I thought that would help him grab a certain voter base, but he didn't. He decided to go with the old incarcerator.
So can we establish something first before we move on? He made a big deal about saying that he was going to pick a black woman.
Exactly.
Do y'all think she's black? Can we settle that first? Is she a black woman?
Yes.
Look, I threw some jabs out there, but yeah, she's a black woman.
Thank you.
I can't go that far. I can't go that far.
Well, that's been a big deal. You know,
I threw some jabs out there. I'll make a joke.
Okay. So we've at least established that. So now, do you think that she's a good pick as a vice president? You think she at least qualifies for the job? Why not?
No, because I think, first of all, this was just, he said he wanted to go after a black woman. He chose a black woman. Problem is, he did it to get black votes, and he chose the wrong black woman. He chose a black woman that has over 1,900 convictions for marijuana alone. I smoke weed, Eric smoke weed, Vic smoke weed. So who over here trying to get 10 years for smoking a joint? You can't pick a woman like that goes against the black community. We've seen video and interviews from people her team has had placed in jail and hid evidence and tainted evidence to make sure they get the maximum time. And it's been more than one occasion. So I think it's a horrible pick as a black man, because I think she's going to target more black men. I think
you put all of that on her because she got weed convictions?
Not because the weed conviction.
As a prosecutor.
As a prosecutor. I understand as a prosecutor, but it's the interviews I've seen, it's the people that she actually had quote unquote framed, and that's those words, by hiding and tainting evidence to make sure they get the maximum time. That's the thing that don't get me. You can be a prosecutor, I understand. My sister went to law school and do all that, so I respect that field, but I can't respect a dirty one, especially if you're a black one attacking and targeting blacks. I can't do that. I don't want that nonsense.
That was deep. That was real deep.
Oh yeah, I did my homework, Eric. Man, I can't prepare.
So all right, so if she does something back in the early 90s, there's no way she could be a better person?
I think when you do something for so long, it's who you are. You can't, a lot of people is painting a narrative like they expect her to become VP and hit a switch. That stuff that you have inside you, that inner racism, it doesn't just switch like that. So it's just gonna amplify what she's doing. So whatever long.
So she a racist too?
I think there's an argument and debate that's always went on about can blacks be racist. I don't know if people agree with that or disagree. But here's the thing,
every time somebody points to some shit that she did, you gotta go all the way back to when she was a prosecutor. So that was in the 90s. She's been a senator, she's been an attorney general, none of that matters?
Yeah, hold on. And FYI, you said, I don't want to get arrested for the joint stuff. First of all, she's not a prosecutor anymore. She's not in that field anymore.
Right.
She's got a different job now. I just want to be clear. She's got a different job now.
And if I'm not mistaken, doesn't she support legalizing marijuana?
She has in the last 5 years. She absolutely has. So she's changed her tune on that, and she's come around on that. So,
but
that's a fact.
My thing is this: I watch parts of the Democratic national debate. I saw Joe Biden talk the most shit about his running mate. I think just from a strategic standpoint, that it was stupid to bring her along, being that you've given the opposition so much ammunition for them to shred my own opponent. Like, why would I pick her? That's just dumb.
But that,
I'm almost giving it away.
That's
They all do
politics,
that.
though.
They
That's
all
been
do
happening in
that.
politics
Why
for
is this
years.
different?
Hey, I didn't see some cold shit. She calling him all type of racist.
That was
he
dumb.
was fighting against
That was-
civil rights.
That was dumb.
Obama and Biden were going neck and
I mean, you're
neck.
supposed to. I get it. You're
Obama
supposed
and
to do
Clinton
it. I
were
get
going
it.
crazy,
Yeah, like,
and he pulled her in as
honestly,
the Secretary of State.
The
Yeah, now
difference
vice
is,
president.
I'm gonna keep it real. The difference is that, so that's been happening in politics for years. But now, how the media takes sound bites
That's
and
what I'm
puts them
saying.
into
They're gonna,
memes
they're
and
going. That was dumb.
Yeah.
That was just, to me, it was
Yeah.
just a dumb pick. It wasn't so much like she wasn't capable of doing the job. Yes, she's probably capable of being a vice president. But if you really want Trump to lose and you want Biden's team to win, that was the worst pick you could have made.
Well, here's the thing: 70% of Democrats love her.
But
Now what?
70% of Democrats who are like political figures.
No, as far as the pick, out of all the women
Oh, they love her.
that
They
pick.
listen. They love her now. Wait till they
Exactly.
finish.
It's a supportive
Like
thing,
Vic
yeah.
said. Wait till they finish. Like Vic said, finishing up the sound bites. Wait till this shit starts to get closer to the election. Watch all the sound bites that they put out. People love her now until they hear the sound bites. We are a sound bite nation.
that sound bite. Listen, that
It's
moved
gonna matter.
mountains on the internet, and not everyone's on
Not
the
in
internet.
real life. I don't
50. There's a large portion of fools on the internet that don't even fucking vote. How about
Have you
that?
not heard the stuff that our
Everybody's on the
president
internet.
says?
Everybody is on Facebook.
Everybody's on the
Yeah,
internet.
but how often does that influence? If you're a voter, if you're somebody who
Hold on, time out.
hold
Hold
it
on.
sway you?
Are you questioning the influence of Facebook? What do you mean?
Can't doubt social media.
No, I'm not questioning. I'm not questioning influence from
Me
the
neither.
perspective
Oh, I'm about to say
of
social
whether
media
it's influential, but I am questioning whether it will change someone's vote. If you
Yes,
are a diehard
yes,
voter, I don't
yes,
think so.
yes.
If you're a
People
diehard
will-
voter, the average
people
person,
will-
they're not
people
going to
will-
vote for Joe Jorgensen. So you
People
have
will
two choices.
kill you. People will kill you over the internet. Obama won a presidency off of advertising and
The last two presidents, right?
over social media. So the social media influence voting? Yes. Probably.
Listen,
Probably
I
more so
don't
than
think
anything
that
right
a
now.
vice presidential pick will influence the vote, because I think that if you're a voter, if you're a Democrat, you're not going to vote for Joe Jorgensen.
I
You're
hate to
just
say
not.
this. If you were white, I would agree. But because this is a sister, they're going to drag her through the mud.
Of course, not only are white people going to drag her, but
They're
black
gonna
people
drag
are
her
going to
through the
drag
mud.
her even
She's
more.
already
That's
being
true.
dragged.
She's already being dragged.
Now you
But-
see what I'm saying. It's a dumb pick. He shouldn't have
Here's
picked her.
here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. She's not being dragged by the people that are actually going to swing and give them a shot.
Right.
It's not going to affect them, because the people that can't stand Trump are going to vote for them anyway.
Anyway.
That's not going to change them. That's not going to change
It's
it.
not.
The people that ain't going to vote for them are going to vote Jorgensen or abstain. We're already doing that anyway.
Anyway, right.
So I personally,
So the Trump haters?
people understand. Bro, it's the
That too.
game, bro. Everybody knows. People who know politics know that's the game. You know who's going to look at that and say, oh, but she did this? People who don't know fucking politics.
Right. Because at the end of the day, just like the Trump supporters know, they don't need the popular vote. They know that. Trump's camp knows they don't give a fuck about the popular vote. I guarantee you right now, they know how to win the election without getting a popular vote. It's the same thing for the Dems. They need the popular vote to win the election. So people who are Democrats are going to vote anyway. They don't give a
Mine
fuck.
is already made up. Mine is already made up. Been
So
made
like
up.
Chris, his mind is already made up.
Yeah.
But here, let me ask y'all one
mine?
more question about her. What'd you say?
I say, so is mine. My mind's
Right. So anybody that's on this as a swing vote, they're gonna vote Democrat or Republican. I don't think that it'll go any other way. I could be wrong, but let me ask y'all one more question, because I think this is the issue with Kamala. Do you think it's possible that she can be for a cause, right, and go against it in her job? Let me explain. So if you believe in dropping the incarceration rate of young Black men, but in your day-to-day life as a state attorney general or a prosecutor, you have to make decisions. So can you believe in a cause and still do things that go against that cause? Is that possible?
No, then that would be
No.
jeopardizing your integrity. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
do
I'm
a
not.
job. I wouldn't do a job that would sacrifice my moral sanctity.
You wouldn't?
No, I
Because
wouldn't.
here's the thing: if you're trying a case and all the evidence in front of you says that the person is guilty, are you willing to let them walk just because you want to drop the incarceration rate?
No,
Right.
you must do your job. If you're saying that this person is guilty, then they must be found
Right.
guilty and they're gonna get the sentence.
And so that goes back to what Chris is saying. Chris, we opened the show talking about, she locked up all these black guys. Well, how do you not do your job even if you believe in something else?
But see, that's two-pronged, because if you create a program to specifically target those individuals,
Exactly.
then that's the issue. The issue is not when they come to the courtroom. The issue is why a lot of these people even get into the courtroom in the first place.
But she didn't handle that. She didn't have a hand in that.
I thought she did. I thought I read that she created programs to reduce it. She had like
where's the data? Where's the data though? Data. I mean, we got.
Well, people have been posting the data, but every time someone posts the data, they think that you're caping for her. You can't. That's the issue I have with Kamala, is that you can't really have an open conversation, because if someone posts something in favor of her, then people who don't like her say, "Oh, now you're just trying to ride for her." If you post something against her, then people who love her say, "Oh, you're just tearing down a black woman." You really can't get to the bottom of this. But there is a lot of stuff out there that said that she's not as bad as people think that she was.
I don't think she is as bad as people think she is. I just think that she wasn't the best pick of who he had in the field.
Who do you think he should have picked?
Bass.
Susan Rice.
And he said Susan Rice, which I think would be a good pick, except I know they would overly bust her up on Benghazi. Like they would just.
I thought that too, but to be honest, half these motherfuckers don't even remember Benghazi, bro. There's a small group of people that are going to give a fuck about that, sad as it may be. So the truth of the matter is, in the hearts and mind of the people, Susan Rice was a solid candidate. Woman of color, decorated. She was the national security advisor. She was an ambassador. I mean, she on point. Like, her record was, I mean, if you're looking at how the people would have looked at her, first of all, a lot of people wouldn't even know who the fuck she was. They would have had to Google her. I'm just being honest. Whereas Kamala already has some, because she was going for president, people are more versed on her. Her dirt's already out there because she had to go to she had to go through the little debating wars. No one would have known who Susan Rice was except
they ripped
certain
Kamala
people.
out the first go round. They ripped her. People was tearing into her the first go round.
Tulsi Gabbard gave her 3 minutes of.
Do you think? Okay, one last question. But do you think that she's a worse pick for vice president than Biden was a pick for president?
No. She's a better pick at vice president than Biden for president.
Yes.
But what about her as president? Do you think that the Democrats should have picked her as the presidential nominee?
No.
Or do you think Biden is the better president?
So Biden, in my opinion, is the worst possible candidate for the Democrats.
I think so too.
To put out front to face Trump. They should have put somebody young and progressive. They would have won with ease. It would have been no question.
To me, is at the end of the day, no matter what, I think she still would have been a better pick for the presidential nominee than Biden.
I like Vic's pick with Yang.
Remember that, right? They wanted, because NWA was disrespectful. Ice-T was in cute court. They were coming at him hard. It was funny because
is Kamala the new C. Dolores Tucker?
Right, exactly. But there was a congressman like a week ago who had something to say about the I keep wanting to say Nicki Minaj, Meg Thee Stallion, and Cardi B song. And he had an issue, like a huge issue.
The WAP.
What'd you say?
That shit.
WAP, whatever.
Yeah, and he talked about how it affects our, like young women and the way that they think and stuff like that. Did y'all hear the song?
I watched the video, but on mute.
Look at her.
On mute. I've never heard the song,
You
but I
heard
know
the
what
song?
it's about because everybody been posting about it. But
Yeah,
I've heard the song.
I heard it today for the first time.
I saw the video.
Did you hear the music
I've
with
heard-
the video, or did you watch?
I had to watch it twice. I had to watch the video for everything that was going on in the video. If anybody's watching this, it's extremely freaky. And
soft porn.
It's very horish and freaky. So if you're into that shit, you know, definitely
Don't
check it
like
out.
it. Don't like it.
Look, the lyrics are triple X. I mean,
Well, I think they meant the song to be like that. But do you think that it like has a big influence on the way that our community is seen?
It does. I don't think that the song should be commercialized the way it is. I don't think that it should be over the radio waves. That's my problem with.
Are they playing it on the radio?
Absolutely, they're calling it. They're calling it wet and gushy on a radio instead of saying wet ass pussy. You know what I'm saying? But I prefer the explicit version. You know, but it shouldn't be on the radio. You know, once you put that type of stuff on the radio, now all of the babies can hear it. You know, they like these people.
But is that Cardi and Meg's fault and responsibility? They're artists. They putting out the art. Like, you throw it wherever you want. Like, is that their responsibility? Like, is that their problem?
Doesn't the radio share some responsibility in this being that they're supposed to be doing things for the community most of the time? And now,
absolutely. So, but that's a radio issue. That's not an artist issue.
I'm not saying it's necessarily an artist issue because the artist doesn't control where the song is played at. But
when they release a song, they are fully aware that it could hit the airwaves, right?
Well, you know what? If that's the case, and artists know what that song
in 2020, especially.
I'm pretty sure they don't give a fuck.
They're sharing the blame too.
You think Cardi gives a shit?
Too.
Look, I've been known to talk shit about this song and shit, but I don't care about the artist. It's not the artist's job to give a fuck. Because honestly, whores is gonna be whores at the end of the day. Not just calling them whores, but that's what they make themselves out to be. Them two in particular. But I'm more disgusted by the adults that sit here amplifying these words. Because people love to say that people should have their own mind and not be followers, and music shouldn't affect kids. Look how it's affecting adults. If you got all these people, these women over 30, talking about WAP all on social media.
What's wrong with that though? If you got a grown woman singing the song and she likes the song, what's wrong with that?
I'm saying, look, if you think it's not going to affect grown women like that, you think it's going to have an influence on kids? If the grown women is doing it, what makes you think the kids is not? If it's that trendy, like I think it's weird to see women over, and I'm gonna keep saying women over 30, and I know they're gonna get mad at me for saying this, but it's weird to see them put that shit on social media. Like, I don't want to see a grown ass woman talk about wet ass pussy all day and defend it. Like, that's personally me. That's just not something I want to see from a woman.
I understand that, Sage. Here's where I'm coming from.
I'm not really sure how to take this.
Hey, take some of this smoke with me, Vic.
Here's how I look at it. Oh, I'm coming to get this smoke. I disagree with you, and here's why I disagree with you. Number one, first of all, that shit says more about your timeline that you got a bunch of 30-year-old women doing that shit, bro. I'm gonna just keep it real with you, because I don't have that shit on my timeline. I don't have 30-year-old grown women with children throwing WAP on their Facebook. I don't see that.
You sure
I don't see that. I don't see that. I don't. I don't have a bunch of 30-year-old. I may miss the one, but I mean, it's not a damn epidemic the way you made it sound, like all these women. I don't see that. I'm not seeing that. That's number one. Number two is, it is the parents' job to be the initial influence, bro. If your kids are watching that stuff, without you even knowing, or you don't have any type of supervision, guess what? They'll watch a different video, bro. There's options.
It's 2020.
Yeah, that's
YouTube
different.
everywhere. Listen,
So much influence.
I can't even begin to tell you how many parents are like, my daughter doesn't watch that. And she's at school while the parent is at work on her friend's phone watching the very thing that you think that your kids are not watching. They're all watching this stuff. Social media, right, YouTube. I mean, just the internet period is everywhere. They have access
That's
to
fair.
You can't stop
That's fair. But I'm not gonna motherfucking buy into the narrative that shit's turning kids into hoes.
Right, I agree with that. I agree
Not
with
buying that.
Yeah.
Not buying that.
I'm not either.
That's more that if your child is going to be promiscuous in them streets, the video, that video is probably not the reason.
Right.
And I'm not saying, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that's shitty parenting, because I've seen I know great parents that have done everything, and I've watched the situation, and they've had daughters that were promiscuous, and there's nothing they could have. I seen it, and I'm like, damn. I'm like,
but the video may be the reason that she tells the boy that she wants him to touch the dangly thing in her throat, because that was in the video.
Yeah, but if she was going to do it, she was going to do it anyway. Now,
I mean, but that's different, though.
I think we downplaying influence. We downplaying influence, Vic, because you telling me you ain't never had a haircut, you never had a dressed a certain style, talked a certain way because of the shit you listen.
Today,
I'm talking about according to the certain stuff you listen to. Like, none of that ever influenced you, Vic. That's what you telling me. Nothing from music ever influenced.
I never got a haircut. I never got, me personally.
Yeah,
got a haircut.
But still, in the end, though, you don't do things that are not in your character, right? So right now, there's a lot of young hip hop artists that are running around with nail polish. Are you going to get your nails painted?
No, but you know what?
Because that's not something. Right, but that's because that's something that they would do. That's not something that you would do. If somebody was going to paint their nails, they're going to do it anyway. They were going to do it anyway. They were either going to do it in secret or they were going to do it in public. But they were likely going to do it anyway.
When I was younger, in my prime, I was a whore.
Okay, Vic.
A whore. And let me tell you, like, 2 Live Crew had nothing to do with that. None of the music of that time had anything to do with that.
I can't say
that was my spirit.
You was listening to horror music. You was listening to horror music.
I think it's a combination.
I was listening to KRS, bro. I was listening to KRS.
Well, for me, growing up, I fucking listened to Master P, who told us how to motherfucking cook coke. And guess what we did? We fucking cooked coke and we sold that shit. Not saying that it was solely because of Master P, but that type of music did influence a lot of the behaviors that we were distributing as youth. We go to the club, nuck like you buck, and all those songs just come out in the club. We want to fight because the music influenced us to do so. And we were young and stupid enough to allow the music to influence us. We didn't really know any better.
So why do you think people don't get influenced by TVs and movies?
That's a point that I've been trying to make, because they do. That's the thing, they do get influenced. You can see somebody, especially a kid, watch a movie or something and imitate the stuff they do that they see in the movies. Act out the stuff they see in the movies, whether they being funny or not. So I think movies have just as much, or if not more, influence as music does, but it just doesn't get criticized because it's looked at as a make-believe art.
Absolutely.
You know why though? You know why I think? I think it has a lot to do with the fact that in hip hop and music, there was a long time where you couldn't sing about or rap about stuff you wasn't doing. So if you rapped about something that you weren't doing, then people looked at you like you know what I'm saying? You wasn't that dude or you wasn't that chick. So you couldn't do that. They'll clown you, they'll tease you like, you're not really living that life. It's not the same thing with movies. In movies, people know that it's just a movie, it's just entertainment. But if Jay-Z would have rapped about selling drugs and he wasn't, they would have came at his neck.
That's an extremely fair point. But nowadays, because people love to make the argument that they paint the narrative that you don't know that rappers just write music. They're not actually living these lives. So if it was like 20 years ago, that's an extremely fair point. Nowadays, a lot of people paint the narrative that rappers are just making music and not nowhere near living their lives. So it kind of depends on what narrative or what argument you're trying to paint in this situation.
Yeah, Big, you had a question?
Yeah, I was gonna say the reason is because culture. So movies don't represent black culture. It's just movies. It's just violence. The reason why a lot of people talk shit about the violence in rap and blah, blah, blah is because they don't like the culture. So it makes it a lot easier for them to go after it, right? Think about it. Violence in movies is not really a culture. It's universal in every genre of a music producer, like whatever you have it. They're producing their movies. The reason why it's a lot easier to go after rap music and go after that is because they're really going after people of color, right? They don't go after grunge music. They don't go after grunge music.
I was gonna say that too. Yeah.
They don't go after grunge music, right? Which glorifies suicide and talks about heavy drug use, right? So just call it what it is. It's the way I see it. It is a cog in the belt that is the systemic racism. It's a tool, right? And that's why they go after it, right?
That's fact.
So in the days when they went after NWA, right, there was a bunch of other offensive music going on, but they went after them. Why? Because they didn't want to hear that shit. The movies happens in private. Music, everyone could hear, right? It's amplified, right? You got stuffy person with it affects their children, right? They don't want their kids singing that rap shit. They don't want that. They don't want that culture infused in their day to day. That's how I see it.
Plus, rap music is like you said. Rap music is dominated by black people. So you can't really attack the movie industry that's not dominated by black people. You know who that's dominated by. So they have to attack
everywhere now, though. So I'm surprised that it's still so much like that because hip hop is in commercials.
But I will say I do agree that movies have more influence than music does, because I know people like to blame a lot of violence and stuff on rap music, but if you go to a lot of black people's house, they will have a picture of some type of mafia boss, whether Scarface, Al Pacino hanging up in their wall. 1 out of 3 black people has that hanging up in their wall somewhere. So the influence is there. I mean,
we're the most violent nation, man. It's not even close.
Absolutely.
And when you talk about the images, the movies, we're the most violent nation.
It comes at you fast. Yeah.
With the most violent entertainment channels.
Yeah. It's coming from
the United States has been glorified violence. This is a country that's been built and baked on fucking violence.
Absolutely.
For years.
Facts.
Yeah.
It's just they like to choose. They want to control the fucking violence. They want to control.
They want to paint the narrative. They want to control the narrative all the time.
Yeah. So when they can't control shit, and that's just the way it is, man.
I never thought of it like that.
Bullshit.
All right. So I wanted to switch gears because Chris is chilling with his lady, and I'm a girl, and we love talking about relationships. But Chris, you talked about your lady. We were talking about like posting stuff on social media. Do y'all post each other on social media?
No.
That was a quick no. That was a quick
no. But I ain't gonna lie. We don't post. We interact heavily on social media, though. I mean, it's quite clear what's going on between us, but we don't necessarily post pictures.
Well, if she posted you though, would that bother you?
Not at all. Yeah, not at all.
In what way, Dion?
Like just posting pictures. What if she told your business? What if she told a story about y'all on social media?
I mean, it need to be a good story. I don't want no bad story about me.
Okay. So then, how would you feel if she posted, like, if she started posting y'all business? Like, how do y'all feel about people who post their business on social media, like their relationship stuff?
Well, that's the type of stuff I discuss ahead of time. I'll let you know that I don't fly with that. That's a no for me. Do not put our shit on social media, because that's already starting shit between me and you. Imagine if we get into it, and I go happen to look on social media and see you posting what the fuck we just got into it about. Now it's like you trying to bring that shit to a shit show in front of everybody, and I don't play those games.
You know who I feel
I
sorry for?
vet that shit out early in a relationship.
Yeah.
I vet that out.
I feel
Messiness.
sorry. I feel sorry for the people who they start a new relationship, right? And then like for like the first 2 months, all you see is picture after picture on social media. They eating ice cream. They
Eating ice cream.
yeah, they sharing a burger. They taking skipping through the park and all this shit.
Pick us. That's the pick us crowd. That's the pick me, the pick us.
You know, everything's going great, and then 3 months later, niggas ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck?
That shit happens.
It's like
we can draw the line. Like sometimes people just want to tell a funny story. Like women, we like to be acknowledged, right? We like to know that we're important to you, and to some women, you know, that's a way to show that you belong to her, that you belong to her. That makes her feel good. So I
agree. I agree, but there's a line. Like if you're gonna post like, hey, you know, blah blah blah, went out with my boo, blah blah blah. But like, so
that's different.
It's funny. I've heard women talk about this, right? I've been a fly on the wall in these conversations, and when people see that, they giggle behind the scenes, because typically when people try too hard to convince you they're happy, what does that really mean? So think about it like this: truly happy people, right? Look at you for a perfect
example. Nothing to prove,
right? You are in a great relationship. You look super fucking comfortable being you, right? So I don't know you too personally, but I would think that you're not the type of person to be posting every day with your man how happy you are in your relationship. Right? Because people who are genuinely and truly happy in their relationship don't do that shit. They're not trying to convince anybody.
Yeah, but I've also been married a gazillion years, so
that's a difference too.
I get the game, right? So it's like at this point, you know, we can only post so many pictures and.
But how do you get to that point of being married for a long time by keeping your fucking business?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Out of the hands of other people. You know what I'm saying? So
people wild for that shit, man. People just,
you know what I'm saying? Just keep it tight.
There's a distinct correlation with people who put everything on social media, right? Like let me tell you, when I was interviewing, man, I would get resumes. Best believe I was looking up the name and I was going on their Facebook. And I was looking. I would go through all their social media, and if I saw that they were super messy, super dramatic, I would feel away. I'd be looking at that and I'd be like,
Yeah, but
as soon as they feel it, because they feel some type of way, they're gonna run straight to social media. Yep.
Another reason I've been married so long is because we go to therapy.
That's wonderful. Great. As you should.
We go to therapy. Listen, and at first I was kind of opposed to it because I was like, oh, I don't want somebody else in my business. But it's actually kind of fun when you get the hang of it. You air something out. It's actually fun. Do you think it should be mandatory? Remember back in the day when blood tests used to be mandatory when you got married?
That's funny.
Yeah.
Damn, that happened?
Yeah.
It was like that in New Jersey. You had to have a blood test or something like that before you could get married.
I'm telling y'all age. God damn.
I know, right? What
was that?
So basically, you're saying, should it be a prerequisite?
Absolutely.
So I agree. I think so.
I went to marriage counseling.
It's not bad.
As you should have.
Let me tell you, it was brilliant. It gave me a template, man, because I think people don't realize what a lot of that stuff does for you, and it really depends. So our marriage counseling, like, dude was so spot on. And after he learned about me and who I was and the type of dude I was, he basically like just put it down. And he was like, this is what's going to happen. You're going to mourn your identity. And it happens. And I've said this a million times, but when people become a union and typically there's conflict, is a lot of times it's you feel away no longer being your individual self. You are now morphing into a different type of union. You lose your individuality. And if you're from the hood, the streets, where we're not from an affluent background, we don't know people that have been to therapy and all that nonsense. We don't have that insight, right? We deal with things a certain way, and we don't know no better. So we go through shit, and we don't know how to self-diagnose the shit we going through.
Exactly. We need guidance. Yeah,
it's exactly why, my exes would be like, yo, I could tell you feeling the way and you angry. What's good? Let's talk. And I'd be like, nah, I'm straight. I don't need to talk. I knew I was upset, but I myself didn't freaking know why. And I'm like, is it her? Is it me?
Right.
And the truth be told, I was mourning my individuality. I was mourning coming in and out, and not having to tell somebody where I've been. What were you doing? Why were you late? I was like, yo, what are you doing? And so we don't even know we be going through shit. And that's a huge problem. So I think the therapy part would unpack a lot of that. And now when it's happening, when I'm having an asshole moment,
you're aware of it.
You're aware of it. Exactly.
I catch it, where before that could be a week, man.
Yeah.
And we're not talking for days, and it's like nonsense. Now I could identify it, circle back, and try to course correct. And it hopes you want a path. So honestly, I agree, man. I definitely think that it would do. Now, if you got your stuff put together and you don't think you need it, that's cool. But I don't see how it wouldn't benefit. Like, it really benefited me. Hell yeah.
Even if you have yourself put together, you still need it, because most of the time we all think we got ourselves put together. And a lot of us is ignorant to the fact.
A whole other person in your space.
Yeah, to actually assess you and break you down. And like Vic said, a lot of us is ignorant to what we're feeling. So we just have these emotions, and we don't actually know why we're having these emotions. Why we feel this way? Why did I just get angry for no reason?
And in Black and brown culture, because our upbringings are far more traumatic than most, we have the most baggage.
Yeah,
we have the most baggage. Think about it like this: in our culture, we're so much way more likely to come from a single parent home.
Right. So we're dealing with PTSD. Yeah. Stuff that would trigger us. Stuff that would trigger us.
Absolutely.
So something might trigger us that our partner might do, coming from childhood experiences that we don't even know that's a trigger for us. So we need that additional help.
Basic, like toothpaste.
It's very basic. Very basic.
Like toothpaste, like
leaving the light on, TV too loud.
Entire marriage. Yeah. I tell people
chewing in my ear. It can be anything.
On top of that, the fact that the machismo in our cultures and how that's needing help is such a weakness, right? When you think of depression, mental illness, when I was coming up, someone said depressed. We were like, oh, what the fuck is, man, hit this shit. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like,
stop being a
smoke
pussy.
Up and cheer. Like, what are you talking? We don't come, like, we don't, the mental illnesses, like things of that nature in our culture, we don't respect that shit. We're not taught to really understand what that really is. So we look at it as, what do? We look for a box to put it in, and we put that in a box where you're a fucking weirdo. That goes in the weirdo box.
Yeah. It's easier to call you strange.
Yeah, we put you in the weirdo box, brother.
Right.
And sooner or later, your box gets full, though.
Exactly.
And the next thing you know, you're arguing with your spouse over ketchup.
Go see a therapist, everybody. Even if it's not just for couples counseling, go see a therapist.
Yeah.
Work out yourself, identify yourself, learn yourself.
I'm a huge fan of counseling.
I really suggest it. Please do. I preach it all the time.
I think it's helpful. It helped me. I went to individual counseling. It's funny. I got advice, and some advice I got was basically saying you should go by yourself before you go with your significant other. And I was because they were like, if you're broken, you can't fix a union if the individual is broken.
Right.
So they were like, if you're broken and you've got issues individually, you need to fix yourself. It's not fair to them to bring them into that situation, because it's really hard. If you've got deep down issues yourself that need to be worked on within yourself, how the hell are you going to go to therapy with someone else?
So do y'all think that you just shouldn't even be in a relationship until you get yourself whole? Like it's kind of weird, because it's like, is there really ever a way to get yourself whole under the age of 40? right?
It's a
Under the
make-believe
age of
scenario.
35, 40.
That's
So
a
would you
great
just
freaking question.
Yeah, like would you just hold off? But I find that people don't even broach the edge of having yourself together until you in your late 30s. Like you're not even on the edge of it because before that you can't even figure out your own emotions. If you're coming, if you're going, you might be good financially, you might not. You might be good mentally, you might not.
I agree. I agree. It's hard to do, but think about it like this, like, it's like it's almost like relationships under 30 are collateral damage.
Right.
Yeah. It's just a good
Collateral
need
damage.
at the end of the day.
They don't have to be, but
they are all my relationships prior to 35, right? They were basically the canvas that eventually became the relationship I have now.
Well, we know when you
Like,
met your lady.
I
35.
I burned through a bunch of stuff. You know, I met her a little later, but I would say I had the light went on for me as a man at that point when I realized, like, the next time this happens and the next time that I'm really serious about someone, like, I can no longer do X, Y, Z. Like, I need to take
interesting.
it serious.
That's interesting though, because what you're basically telling us is you left a line of women that you like basically screwed them over. You like fucked their heads up.
Bitch, he set you up, bitch.
Now you got a line of women that you screwed up, and so now you move on and you got a beautiful wife and she's happy. But what do we do?
The carnage he's left behind.
But here's why a lot of times men don't realize this. It's because that type of thing evolves, and then what you hear women say things like, I'm no longer dealing with a pussy ass man. If that man can't do this, and this for me, I'm not dealing with him. And then what y'all say is, oh, here we go with the women and the independent women. Yeah, but a lot of times women have come in contact with a bunch of stuff where they've gotten to the point where I need to be independent. So why do y'all get so annoyed at independent women if so many men have admitted to creating this line of women that they've screwed over?
I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair because I'm gonna cut Big some slack on that one because it's not like he's just going down the line breaking just these whole women. A lot of times we're in relationships as younger people and we're breaking each other. So it's just not like it's one-sided. Like we're doing damage on both ends. So those same women are putting us through a healing process also. It just takes so long for us to heal.
I just want to note that Vic is extremely happy that you chose to answer that question first.
Hey man, I had to come belly out like that. Man, I don't let my boy go through that, man.
Yeah, but we'll holler at y'all.
Y'all be safe out there. It's the weekend. Don't drink and drive. Remember to like, subscribe, share, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, a million other shits that I don't know about. We probably got a OnlyFans page coming soon. With just me and my tank top. Hey, let's get it. Weekend. You know, we're gonna make a little cash. Some change for some change.
Yo, don't let social media make y'all emotional.
Control your emotions. Hollywood Vic is in the building.
Don't let social media mess y'all up, man.
Pick up a scarf.
Get the scarf. That's now it's official. Hollywood Vic. Hollywood Vic.
My source of energy is always close.
There we go. We love y'all out there and stay safe.
Love y'all.
Got a little bit of gasoline. Welcome to another